Hi subscribers and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dominic James Murray, CEO, founder and IFA here at Cameron James. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing with you my experience from 10 years of the top 5 most annoying and frustrating things that clients do with their final salary pension transfers, which dramatically slow down the process and make it very, very stressful for themselves and also for their financial advisory firm. Okay, number 1. Clients who obtain their cash equivalent transfer values themselves. Okay, I've done a full-length video on this, 5, 6, 7 minutes, which you can watch if you want. I understand why clients do this. They think, okay, I want to be in charge, I want to be in control, I'm going to get all my CETVs, and then I'll go find my financial advisor. Doesn't make sense. Unless you are a pension transfer specialist, or maybe you've transferred your partners before, you've transferred one of your own before, you are not going to know what is required from your scheme in terms of a CETV. A CETV does not mean I've got everything I need for my report. Categorically not. 9 times out of 10, when we review the CETVs from your scheme, they miss off anywhere between 2 to 15 pieces of crucial information which we need to write your report. So what happens is you come to us with your CETVs, you say, here you go, Dominic, there's 4 or 5 weeks left on my CETVs, get going and get it done for me. And we say, you're missing your late retirement factors, you're missing your early retirement factors, do you have an immediate retirement quote? The client's saying, I don't even know what these are. Like, what are you talking about? Here's my CETV, get it done. Unfortunately, your seeding scheme has let you down and hasn't provided that information. When we send in an LOA ourselves and the client asks us to request the CETVs for them, we specifically state explicitly in the LOA document and on the email again, just to make sure we've got it in writing with the scheme, all the information which they need to attain. So number 1, get your CETVs through your financial advisor and don't try to do it yourself. You will just create yourself a lot of hard work, stress and effort. Number 2, if for any reason your CETV has expired or something has gone wrong with it and you have to get a second CETV, just get on with it. Don't worry about the 150, 200, 250 pounds, maybe plus VAT that you have to pay for the second CETV. If you spend time complaining and saying scheme, this isn't fair, I never had it, they'll just respond saying it was on your portal, you didn't log in and get it. I understand from a client's perspective, you might not have even realized you had your CETV. Maybe it was posted to your home address and you were on holiday. Maybe they sent it to your portal and you've never even logged into your portal. Remember, these schemes might be 10, 15, 20 years old for you. The fact that you might have your portal access is probably very, very slim, but always get it paid. Don't fight it, don't dispute it. Or if you really, really want to dispute it, and I've had this in one client actually in the Isle of Man, he said his CETV wasn't received, and I said to him, look, you've got 2 other transfers happening right now, do not mess around with these guys, pay the second CETV, I think it was £195 in his instance, get the second CETV and then we can make a complaint with them. I made a complaint for the client via email and the scheme turned around, it was Mercer, turned around and said, actually, you know what, there might be, perhaps it wasn't posted to the client, as a one-off, we are going to waive the second CETV fee. I was like, well, we've already paid it, so can you please refund it to the client? But don't hang around. That took weeks and weeks and weeks for Mercer to respond to my complaint. You're much better off having your CET and being ready to go. Otherwise, you end up, perhaps your other DBs will expire. Then you have to get new CETVs on those. Then you have to start the whole process all over again. With interest rates rising at the moment, Bank of England in the UK, there's another video on that at the moment, you will have a lower CETV. So don't worry about £200 or £300 when you're doing a transfer that is going to cost you thousands of pounds. It's such a small part of the pension transfer cost. Just suck it up, not to be too harsh, and get on with it. The third point that I would say that makes it very difficult with pension transfers is when clients say, I know a transfer is suitable for me. I've already done all my reading and I know it's in my best interest and I just need you to facilitate it. You're a facilitator. It doesn't really work like that. Unfortunately, the majority of clients, the FCA deems not suitable for a pension transfer. We need to review and analyze your case and understand and put your best foot forward in terms of what is your transfer rationale. Sometimes clients will say things like, I've got a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old. It's imperative for me to do this pension transfer so I can pass 100% of that money on to my beneficiaries. If you went and said that to the PTS would look at it the opposite way round. They would say, okay, so you've got a 9 and 11-year-old, a 12-year-old. These people need protecting. your partner needs the 50% income from your pension scheme, guaranteed income for life, in order to support those children. Client might say, no, I don't want that. I want to transfer it out so I can give them 100%. The PTS will say, well, take out life insurance. If you're worried about dying and losing 50% of your pension, take out life insurance. It's cheap enough, and then your children will be guaranteed to have that money, the extra 50% that you might have lost. So use your financial advisor and use your pension transfer specialist. My favorite clients are the ones that come through and say, Dominic, I've been doing a lot of reading. I've watched all your videos, I've read all of your blogs, I've been through the website, I've looked at your reviews, I really like the look of you guys. I've done a lot of reading. I think I understand the market pretty well, but I know I'll never understand it as much as you guys. I am here and I want your advice on whether you think a transfer is suitable for me or not, and what parts of my situation make me suitable or unsuitable. That is a great client because they understand that they haven't been doing it for 10 years. They've been researching it for 2, 3, 6, 9, 12 months. You could never have as much information or as much industry insight as a professional such as myself, who has sat all of the qualifications and transferred hundreds, if not thousands, of pensions for my clients over the course of these 10 years. So I'd always say come through and try to be very humble and modest with your financial advisor. If you've done your research, show it. Talk to them and tell them, but don't come across and say, oh, I'm definitely, this transfer is suitable for me, because very invariably, there will often be things that you might not necessarily understand. The fourth point I would say is clients who come through and say, I want to manage this myself independently. I don't want a financial advisor. Why would I pay someone 1% per annum to manage my money? I'm going to manage it myself and I don't need you guys. So number one, most advisory firms are not going to want to be a chop shop for you to do your pension transfer and then for you to go off and manage it yourself. Now, I will caveat that in certain instances, this may well be the best financial advice. If a banker or a senior executive in the financial world comes to me and says, hi Dominic, I've been trading equities for 20 to 30 years. I have my own independent SIP with AJ Bell, Fidelity, Aviva, whoever it is. I've been managing it for the past 10 years. I've achieved XYZ growth. I understand diversification. I understand market risk. I understand portfolio allocation. I really genuinely want to manage the pot myself, and I don't want to pay you guys 1% because I think I'm really good at it. I would classify myself as almost a professional or institutional investor. Now, in a situation like that, I would take all of that investment experience, I would go to my compliance team and I'd be very transparent with them and say, look, we have a client here who is very experienced in managing money. While it's not ideal for us to do all the initial transfer work and then to transfer it to a SIP which we're not going to manage it, we're going to have no ongoing income, we might make a commercial decision that obviously it's not viable for us because our profit is made from managing clients and having relationships and getting testimonials and referrals from them on an ongoing basis. But we might still say to the client, okay, fair enough, we will complete this transfer for you. We understand you want to manage it yourself, but that is in the minority of situations. If a client comes through and says, oh, I have $5,000 in crypto, so yeah, I know everything about investing, and I have 12 grand in an ISA account, I have loads of investment experience. In reality, you don't. And compliance are going to see straight through that, and they're going to say, Dominic, this client doesn't really have many other assets potentially. They don't have a proven track record of managing their own pensions. And a classic example is the client will say, oh, I manage all my own stuff, blah, blah. Then you have a look at their DC pension schemes and they're all in the default funds. So the client's trying to tell compliance, oh no, I know what I'm doing. I don't need financial advice. I'm an expert or I'm a professional. But then in their own DC schemes where a lot of their money is, they've left them in default funds. They've made no active choices on those pension pots and they've just let the pension scheme manage it for them. So it doesn't add up. So again, you just need to be going to your financial advisor and being as open and honest as possible. And one of the most important things on this point is, why do clients think they will be able to outperform a financial advisor or outperform a model portfolio which has a proven track record? Okay, if you go and buy Amazon at 50% and Tesla at 50%, very well, you might outperform our portfolio, but the level of risk that you're taking in order to achieve that return is far higher than using a balanced portfolio of maybe 65 or 70% equity. So that's a really important point that clients need to understand. You need to understand the value of ongoing financial advice, and if you don't understand the value of ongoing financial advice or you want to manage it yourself, you really need to be able to back that up with credible investment experience and background in terms of managing your own money. So guys, that's 4 points. In terms of the last and final point, I would say with pension transfers for DB schemes is always be responsive in terms of your process with your financial advisor. Be upfront and be honest. We will always expect people to be comparing to competition. If a client just comes through, sometimes they do, they say, Dominic, I've been watching channel for 9 months. I think you guys are 100% the best firm. I would like to work with you straight off the bat. A lot of other clients will be shopping around, but be transparent. Say to your financial advisor, I'm comparing you against 2 to 3 other advisory firms, and don't come back with something ridiculous saying, oh, the other guy's offered to do it for XYZ%. If another advisory firm has offered you some type of deal, just feel free to share it with your financial advisor. They will either try to match it, or they will say, actually, can't match that. For some reason, that person or that advisor is doing it much cheaper. I always find this a little bit of a red flag. It's a little bit like saying, if somebody can afford to give you cheap final salary pension transfer advice, either they're just starting out and they want to try and build their clients, or at some point in the company or the process as they're cutting corners, it might not be a very smooth or efficient service, and particularly in the offshore market, they might be using trail, commission, any funds or bonds that pay them an extra amount of commission that you might not be able to see from your initial fees. As one of my old sales managers used to refer to it, there's different ways to skin a cat, so to speak. So be very careful when you think someone seems much cheaper than the averages in the market. Guys, I hope that's been a useful video for you in terms of the top 5 mistakes and things to do. If you want to book in below, you can do via the Calendly link in the comment section, or in the description section below. You can click the day and the time, which is most suitable for yourself, and you can also use the WhatsApp link below to also book into the diary. Guys, look forward to speaking with you soon, and have a great day. Thank you.